Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and I'm excited about this one. So today's video, we're going to go through and I'm going to be showing you how I do like my more minimal makeup, okay? And I use air quotes and all of that because this is my version of minimal makeup. This is what makes me feel good about wearing less makeup. And as we go into this, I just want to keep in mind that everyone is going to have a different level to what they consider minimal. Everyone is going to say like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Wow, that's an extra step. Or like, oh, but just remember, everyone has a different level and I am working my way backwards into being comfortable in my own skin. And I'm working myself down this trail where hopefully one day I am more comfortable at even less makeup than this. But honestly, I have been testing out this method for a while now, like a couple weeks. This has been my go-to makeup routine and I have been loving it. So I just wanted to kind of share it with you guys and show you how I do it. So I guess that's what we're gonna do. But I just wanted to let you guys know going into it, like if I do something you wouldn't do and or you think that that's too much or whatever, that's totally fine. You can skip a step if you think you want to. I'm gonna tell you why I use all of these steps because when I'm trying to do quick makeup, there's a reason that I'm like trying to do it, you know? So if I'm adding something in, there's obviously like a purpose behind it. And my goal is to tell you guys what I'm using and why I'm using it. That way, if you have a different product, a similar product, or, you know, maybe you don't like that idea, then you'll know why I'm using it. You can find a dupe, kind of do that sort of stuff. Okay, so while I apologize for the obnoxiously loud tractor outside, which I don't think you guys can hear, but it's so fucking distracting for me right now, I'm gonna start by priming and we're gonna use the Tatcha. Now, I do have the Tatcha. We're gonna use the Tatcha Silk Canvas. I use this one because it's a really nice pore filling primer, and also with this routine, the one thing that I want to keep reiterating is that you don't have to be so specific. Don't be afraid to kind of get the basics on and then keep moving, because I feel like with this, I don't even want to call it a routine. With this way that I do my face lately and like trying to do it, you know, with the less is more and just trying to make it look good quickly, I feel like the less that I care, the better it turns out, if that even makes sense. Like, I don't even know how that's possible, but like for my primer, I squish it into the more porous areas, move on, done, we're done with that. So the silk canvas is what we put on to like fill the pores and help us look a little more flawless in that respect. But again, I'm really going for that like nice, healthy, natural, glowy, kind of moment, kind of vibe, if you will. So that is the purpose of that primer, but I am slightly extra. So this is a step that I have included that I really love for multiple reasons. This is the Becca Skin Love Glow Essence droppy serum shit. The stuff that smells like cucumber melon. I will link the video where I did a whole video, oh my God, of all the Becca products, the blurring foundation, and all of that. So I will link that right up here. But I wanted to start including this because I love this primer. This is a great serum primer. I can get into this more later, but essentially I love this for the purposes of this routine because it adds a beautiful glowy factor under my skin. Oh, we almost just dripped all over the face. That would have been a good look. But it adds a beautiful glow to the skin, while at the same time it provides the most fantastically tacky base for the rest of my makeup. Now, for this look, spoiler alert, I go in with powder foundation for this one, and I never thought I'd see the day where I could use powder foundation and have it be so successful. But it really works, and it works beautifully, and the powder foundation and this primer work so nicely together, which obviously, again, we'll get there later. So I like to just apply this, and it is slightly tacky to the touch, which is one of the reasons that I love it. And after that is on, I leave this to set in, and I move on to the brows. So for the brows, I go in, I have a couple of different products. Now, the way that I work brows, the way that I believe in the brow is that you have to have, how do I say this? You have to go into this knowing that you have your own belief about your brow. You have to be strong and steady in your conviction of brow love. So here's my thing. You might look at my brows and say for a natural day, they're too much. And that's fine because I have literally almost no brow hair. My hair is very white trash. It grows everywhere that it wants. It does not grow on the brows. I get hair literally everywhere but right here. It's absolute garbage, but you got to learn to work with what you got. So my preferred way to, oh my God. That was thunder. Holy hell. Okay, that wasn't even a tractor. I can't blame anybody but God for that one. So this is the first product that I use for my brows to get a good like base color, base something going on. And it is the IT Brow Power Powder in Universal Taupe from IT Cosmetics. It's just a tiny little powder. I actually love this color and it creates the most perfect fade for your eyebrows. And there's a tiny little mirror in it, which is actually quite useful. I've used it a ton. So I just grab any angle brush, and literally any angle brush. I've used like 100 different different brushes. I've used spoolies. Like when I can't find a brush, it's not gonna stop me, girl. I'm still gonna apply this shit all over my face. So I just take a tiny angle brush and I start to use this color to kind of define and stamp in the color where I want it. And the reason that I love this, and the reason also that I put down that glowy tonic from Becca first, is because when I work that onto my face, it does create like that more tacky base that I was telling you about, and it helps this powder stick nicely to my eyebrow region without having to really thicken it up and deepen it up, which ultimately deepens up the color. So just by applying that base first, I'm kind of giving this a better running shot at working in my brows while still looking a little lighter. Wow, that was so loud. So as you can see from this brow right here, the main purpose of this step with this brow powder is just to give me a basic idea, a basic shape that I work from there. And from here, I like to take my Colourpop. This is my Bangin Brunette pencil. I take the spoolie off the end and I always run it through just to remove if there is any excess powder or anything clinging. I just kind of scooch that on out. And then I take the pencil end, and the only portion of the eye that I really care about being like super defined when I'm doing more natural makeup or a little less makeup is the tail. And that's because I have literally no hair on the tail. So no hair on my tail. That sounds weird. But I take this pencil and I just very lightly kind of create and shape a tail. I know, so exciting. I like to grab, at this point, my Shape Tape. And you might say, like, wow, Paige, isn't it a little extra to shape out your eyebrows? Technically, yes, but wait until you see how I do it, because literally I don't think you've ever seen anyone care less about anything than the way that I do this. So I take a giant square brush. This is the Stila 13, but it is a big square brush. And I take this because it's big and I don't want to take any time. And I grab my mirror that I can never find. And I take some concealer. And I literally take this in one fell swoop and run it at the base. That's it. That's all you're going to get. So we get it to this point, right? Big whoop-de-hoo-la. We do the same thing on the top side just because I'm slightly, you know, neurotic and I like to have some semblance of evenness in my life. And again, this part does not have to be perfect. Like, none of this has to be perfect. Everyone is going to spend time on different areas of their face. And so for me, brows are important because I don't have brows. But like if there's some other area that really bothers you or irritates you, or like, oh, you'd rather have more eyeshadow than what I'm going to offer you, whatever it is, you can spend time on whatever you feel you want on your face to feel the most confident. But like for me, if I don't have brows, I don't even know who I am. Like, your girl's got to have brows. I feel like this eye is so much easier for me to do. Like, oh, and you guys, I cannot express to you enough, me being able to do 2 brows in under 10 minutes is a big improvement. Like, I will spend, when I'm doing full glam makeup and trying to get them to look perfect, which never happens, I will spend, I mean, easily 15 to 20 per brow to do my brows. And so this method... So this method for me is pretty much life-changing just because it saves me so much time. Okay, so now that the brows are on, which again, for me, take about 10 minutes, and they are by far the longest part of the routine. So if you don't have this much work, the rest of it's going to be a breeze for you. So let's go ahead and move on from here. I love to take this little flat Wet n Wild brush. It's literally a flat little brush that I use. And this is what I use to kind of smudge out this whole area where my concealer was. So now we're going to grab the Shape Tape or whatever concealer you have that you like to use. And we are going to take this and basically dabble it over only the areas that we need extra coverage. So like for me, I am having a little bit of a breakout. So I take and I just lightly tap that. Okay, and that was one like dot. I'm not like going in heavy. There's not a lot of concealer. It's literally one dot, and all of that will get spread across my more chin region because I do have a little bit of a cystic acne moment going on. And then I take it, and again, keeping in mind I have not dunked back in yet, so there's not hardly any concealer on the actual wand. I take one dot here and here, and that's it. That's all the concealer we are going to use. Now we do this for a couple of reasons. While I talk though, I should be blending. I'm going to use my Y6 from Morphe. Any brush, I use a small brush, a big brush, I don't care, just to blend this out. And to do that, I tap it around just to help disperse it without actually pulling it, because I don't want to drag and move around that primer. That Glow Primer from Becca, it does have a little bit of movement to it, so I try to only dab on top of it and not pull, but I just take this and move it around. Now, This part for me is just to cover up the bright redness of my acne. The under eye needs it because my under eyes are very sunk in, and if I don't add some sort of a shape tape or some sort of a concealer to my under eye, they look rough. But by patting this concealer out, you can see that it doesn't add a really concealered effect. You can still see the pigmentation through my skin. It just helps reduce the redness right there. And that's all I'm after. I'm not after full beat coverage in that aspect. I'm just trying to like minimize a little bit of the redness from the actual cystic acne itself. And then these ones above the eyebrows, I pat these out just because they bring a little bit of extra light to that area that I like. Light that I like. Dee, 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 sounds like a song. And then under the eye, these, like I said, are just to help cancel out some of the baggage that I carry under there. And I love the look of light concealer under the eyes. Ugh. It looks so good. And again, it's just enough that it brightens it. It helps bring it forward. It helps kind of take care of that area without really doing a ton to it. And then on my finger, I do also take a little tiny dab of concealer and throw that on the eyelids. This is just to help cancel out any of the crazy colors that I get up there, brighten up the surface, because we're not going in with like a shadow or anything, but I do still like them to look, you know, nice. I want them to look put together, even if I'm not going to go in full beat. So you can still see on my eyelid like a little bit of discoloration, a little bit of like the redness that's a normal eyelid popping through, but we just helped kind of, you know, correct it a little bit. And now we go in with powder. This is the best part. I have been using this MAC Studio Fix powder. I love this. Like, I don't think you can see it. I've used so much of this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I was going to hit pan soon. And I use the shade NW10, and it is perfect for me. And I take this on the Heavenly Luxe Airbrush Powder and Bronzer Brush. It's the #1 from IT Cosmetics. This brush is magical. And I just take this, I just go in there, I grab it, and we just start popping it all over the face. Now, earlier I told you that I use that glowy primer for multiple reasons, the one from Becca. This is part of the reason I use it. It has a perfect sticky texture to where it's not so sticky that it's unbearable, but it helps cling to this powder foundation so beautifully, you guys. Like, I'm telling you, they just stick together so nicely. It doesn't make it look super powdery, excuse you phone. It doesn't make it look like chalky. It just literally, it's almost like lightly they just stick together. And because what I kept running into when I was trying to come up with a routine is every primer I was using, nothing would, like for me, my face would fight the powder, this powder, and I couldn't get it to actually stay adhered to my face with any other primer. Well, then I was like, you know what I really want? I really want like some nice glowy action. That's what I want. And so I added that other Becca primer, just like, you know, wanting some glow. And this was just like an added benefit of that primer. Like the glowiness comes throughout the day and looks super nice and natural. But this portion right here, I just love because it helps the powder stick all over. And I love working with this powder specifically because you can really build it up to be whatever you want it to look like. If you want more coverage in an area, you can do that. If you want less coverage, go in once. Like, I've went over my whole face, what, 2-3 times now? And I just kind of lightly pat it on and move it around until I like the way that it looks. And honestly, oh my god, you guys, on camera I hit pan. Can you see it? Oh my god, how special. I am telling you, I love this. I've been doing this routine. It is foolproof. Now, at the end of the day, my oils do come through a tiny bit, but nothing so bad. Oh, and I also just do this because I only want to have to function right now with like one brush. So we're doing everything we can with one product before we move on, and that's it. Like, that's all you get. And you guys, that's that portion. So now we're going to move on to the rest of it. And like I told you at the beginning of this video, I do still do all of the same steps that I would normally do. I just do them quicker, easier, and I care a lot less. And that is where this next part is very handy. So I love to take my Park Ave Princess palette. You guys know I am a huge diehard fan of this palette. And I use it a ton for this step because you can use this palette for a lot of different things. Like, for example, where is my brush? We're going to start off with the Sigma Duo Fiber F50 brush. I love duo fiber brushes. They blend really nicely and they just treat the skin really well. But at the same time, they also diffuse product a lot more naturally, which is great when you're going for this kind of a look. Like, you can still see light amounts of discoloration coming through. And that's okay. We're fine. We're going to keep building products, and at the end, you won't even be able to see them anyway, so who cares? So let's start by going in with our normal princess cut out of this palette. I love this color so much. And we work this in the same way that we would normally work in bronzer. The only difference is, you guessed it, we just care a lot less. So the goal is just get it on the face. Get it on the face. Now, a lot of the steps that I'm going to show you are optional. Like, you don't have to go in and do your brows like that. You don't have to go in and do, you know, this or that. One step, though, that I would recommend doing if you go in and level out your face like I did with that powder foundation, I do recommend always adding bronzer. Because no matter what else you do, if you go in and make your whole face very monotoned like I did, you do want to go in and add in some kind of warmth, some kind of, you know, anything, honestly, any kind of contour to your face, just so you don't have like that flat Stanley look where you just look like a piece of paper. You don't want that. You need to add something back into your skin. Now, if you don't go as full coverage as I did for a natural look, then you might not need to do this. You could probably just add something glowy and be on your way, and that's fine too. But just word of the wise, if you flatten out your face, unflatten your face with adding a little bit of color. So then I take the same brush and I just run it on the sides of my nose. Again, we're not real specific in these woods. So now I take a fluffy crease brush, and this is where I do the eyes. I know it's really difficult. I'm going to take the deepest shade Crown on the end. It has a light amount of shimmer to it, but it's also just like a really nice, deep, beautiful brown shade. So it looks kind of like a nice shimmery bronzer. I just can't wear it on my face because I'm so fair. But I take it on, this is a Morphe Y17, but any little fluffy brush, and I take this and we're popping this bad boy right on the outer part of the eye, and working it just slightly and lightly into the crease area. Like, that's all we're doing. Just enough. And you can add colors here. You can add like one of those, I did a review of the Colourpop Jelly Much eyeshadows. I'll link that up here. But those would be really good as well for like a lighter day. But if you're still wanting to add some version of color, oh my god, that just scared the ever-living shit out of me. But then I just take this and I kind of pop her right in this area. And the goal of this part, you guys, it's not to show people that like you're a master eyeshadow blender. It is to show them that you have eye sockets. Like, just keep that in mind. I kept having to remind myself when I was trying to find a way to do a less kind of look. I kept having to tell myself, like, Paige, this is not, you're not trying to show people that you know how to like do makeup and do fancy eyeshadow. You're literally just trying to show them like, oh, I have eye sockets. That's all that you're doing. It's not that serious. Like, just calm your ass down. You don't always have to look like you're trying to, you know, try out for RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, it's not that big of a deal, Paige. Come on. And this is also a step, by the way, you don't have to do. I do it just because I like having something on my eyelids, but it's not a big deal if you don't do it, whatever. Then I like to take the shade Princess Cut on a different blender brush, and I kind of blend out that other shade real fast. Now for blush, this is one of my like favorite products, and again, I tell you guys what I use and why, so that way you can dupe it out on your own if you have other products you love. But the blush that I has been like my go-to favorite thing in the world lately is this Hourglass Trio. This is the Ambient Lighting blush palette with Surreal Glow, Luminous Flush, and Mood Exposure. These are the blushes that are in this palette. I believe you can buy the blushes individually, but I haven't been able to find the palette. I bought this at Nordstrom's like a couple weeks ago, and apparently it is gone. So I apologize for that. But any type of blush that you can use to diffuse on your cheeks is a blush that I would choose. And I'm just going to grab this. This is just a big fluffy Morphe brush with no name. And I literally run it like through the whole palette, knock it off, and apply. Like, the purpose behind the blush, you don't have to do blush. For me, I need to add some kind of rosiness to my cheeks. Otherwise, I look sickly and pale, and that's not like a look that I particularly go for. But pick a blush that you can use, you can sheer it out, and that adds a slight amount of luminosity and healthiness to the skin, because that is why I choose this one. It adds like this perfect little sheen, and it gives me a really nice glow. I can work with it, I can build it up, I can tear it down, I can do a lot of things with this blush. It's very, very versatile for me, and that's why I love it. I really gravitate towards it. I've used other blushes during this process of like, you know, trying to find what I like for my face, and I keep going back to this one just for that same reason. Like, it's not really intense from the beginning. It adds the perfect amount of sheen. If you want less glowy, more glowy, you can really tailor this blush to your face, and it's a beautiful thing. So then I grab real quick, if you have like what I do, like I always run my blush up way too high. It's not a big deal because we're gonna fix it. Life's not that serious. We go back into here, we grab these two colors out. You just take them on any kind of like a tulipy shaped brush, a beauty blender, whatever. And you just kind of run them right under here. And they just help to brighten and reshape that area. And then I always run a little bit of this powder down here, just to give me a little bit of reshapeable magic. It's kind of like a magic eraser, but like for blush and bronzer. Oh, and just look at it, just looks so beautiful and healthy and vibrant and awake. Like to me right now, my face looks awake, and that's just fantastic because I am not awake. Oh, not even a little. It is an optical fucking illusion if you've ever seen one. So now we're gonna move on to the highlight section. But before we do that, you guys know this step in my routine does not change. I always set my face before highlight, before any type of glowiness. That way it really sticks to the skin and then sinks in. So let's go ahead. We're grabbing our All-Nighter Urban Decay setting spray. So now the next part is highlight, which we all know is the best part. And this is where it becomes a what look are you going for? I told you guys lately I have been loving a more glowy kind of luminous type look. And this is so intrinsic to me getting that look. This is the Soft and Gentle Mineralized Skin Finish from MAC. And I have been obsessed with this. Arguably, like I put on way too much. But what I love about this is the way that I can drape it over my blush and bronzer. And it doesn't fight them, but it makes my whole face look so awake and alert and just happy. It makes my skin and my face look happy. So I love to take this on like a duo fiber brush and I just swirl her on in, and there's kick everywhere. So you're gonna make a mess from hell. But I just take this and I start it up higher on the cheeks and then I blend it down. Now, some people would say like, oh Paige, you're going too far. That's too much. All personal preference, you guys. I love running this up kind of under my eye and really letting it just awaken and shine this whole area. And I also take, while I'm at it, some of this on my finger and I go pop, pop, pop right on the eyeball, because y'all know I gotta have some shimmer on my eyeball. Like, who would I be without any? Come on, I'd be bored. And look at like the fun dimension, like nothing versus just that little pop. Like, oh my God. I'm obsessed. And it looks so nice. It looks like I tried when obviously you guys know I did not. And there's nothing more like special than that moment. When you're like tricking the world into believing that you care, when really you'd rather be in bed sleeping and or eating fucking Doritos. Like, we all know. I love me a Dorito. We know I love me a Dorito. And again, this next part is completely up to you. I'm a little extra, and ergo I like to do a little extra, if you know what I'm saying. Yum. So I like to take, that was the most awkward thing I've ever done. I like to take on like a small little crease brush or something like that. This is the Morphe M441 brush, but I like to take this and my Nikki Tutorials Glazed Donut. And again, I do this just to add that little pop, completely not necessary, but I love it. And the reason that I do all these steps, that they are my favorite right now, is because when I go outside or I step out into the light, I reflect so beautifully, and it reflects my face in a really flattering, healthy, glowy kind of way instead of like a full glam kind of way. And it just looks really nice. I don't know. Again, personal preference for sure. Like I keep saying that, but how many of you are watching this going like, wow, this is extra? But like, it's not for me. For me, this is just like life, y'all. A little bit on my nose because I'm a queen, and a queen has a shiny nose. Actually, I feel like a queen would have the opposite of a shiny nose, but that's fine. And then I like to take a little bit of this Ofra one as well. I pop it right on that inner corner. Bam, bam, bam. Give myself a nice bright inner corner, and then I take what's left over. Pat that onto the inner portion of the lid as well. See, these are little things that like watching it, you're like, why would you do that? But then when I'm watching it back, I'm like, for that extra little moment that I spend doing it, I'm already there. I already have a brush. Like, why not just give me that little extra something? You know what I mean? Ugh. All right. I'm going to add a little bit to my brow bone too, because why not? With the wrong brush. That's another thing too that I've noticed when I'm doing like my fast makeup. Like, this is what I consider my fast makeup. Whenever I do makeup like this, it's literally like I grab whatever's closest. Like, it's the wrong brush, it don't matter. It's the wrong product, it'll be fine. Like, I don't give a shit. And it's a very dangerous place for somebody like me to be in. So we are here. Let's spray the face one more time. I like to change it up and I spray with different sprays. This is the Morphe Continuous Mist Set, Prep and Set, or whatever this stuff is. I love it. And it feels so good. So you guys, at this point, you can tell the goal is the glowy, beautiful, sexy skin we're in, and we love it. But you can also tell that I've achieved like a lot of coverage. There's still little things that peek through, like on my chin, a couple things up here. But for the most part, first of all, on camera, I think it looks really good. But in real life, it does give you like a lot more coverage as you add up all these different products on your face, which is great. And we did it with a lot less products and a lot less coverage than we would normally immediately gravitate towards. So for me, this has been a game changer. So now we are going to move on to curling our lashes. And you guys, let's be honest, the best curler is made by Tarte. I love it. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good. This one right here is still by Tarte, but it's like their mermaid version that they did. It was like a special edition one, but I just love Tarte's lash curler things. They are so good. They're the perfect size, width, everything. I know that they're expensive, but I've tried the cheap ones and they're not as good. Now lately for mascara, I've actually been feeling kind of bougie. This is the Buxom Mascara, but I've been layering mascara, which for me is so weird because I think it's such a waste of time. But I've been like going in hard. Like I'll go in with this one because it gives me a nice amount of like lift and length to my lashes. And once I've applied that to my lashes, I like to go in with a coat of the Voluminous Lash Paradise. This is from L'Oreal. Any kind of like a thicker, chunky mascara, because the other mascara is what gave me more of the nice, thin but lengthened lashes. And then by going in with this, it helps give them a little bit of volume at the base and makes them look a lot more full. But I noticed that if I just go in with one or the other, I'm not really getting like a nice look to my lashes. But by going in with both, it just really helps create a lot more full, lengthened lash. Okay guys, so now we're here, we're looking glowy, fresh, sexy, all that kind of stuff is going on, and I've really been loving this look rounded out with a gloss. And you can choose like the opacity of the gloss, the shiny, the this, the that. That's all personal preference based on like what you're going for. This whole look is based on personal preference, but for me, I have been loving going in with a slightly more opaque gloss just to give my lips like a nice even, but then still give them that shiny, sexy, healthy skin moment we're going for. So this is the L'Oreal Havana Camila Cabello gloss, as a mouthful, but I ripped the name off, so it's the brown one. I don't know what the name it is, name. And I take this gloss and we're just going right in, and I mean, oh, it kind of smells like caramel. Oh yeah. Anyways, I take this layered on. You can use a lip liner, you can go in with something more opaque, build it up, whatever you're into. And it's just something, a nice fresh coat, evens everything out, makes it look nice and shiny and glossy, and it smells delicious. But you guys, that's it. That's the full face, that's the whole shebang. And you know what I think is so cool about this? Like, yes, I've been working on this look for like 2-ish weeks. I've been testing different products, really trying to figure out what I like and why I like it, so I can tell you guys. And what I found is that through that process of figuring out what I like and all that, I find that it really has helped me come to terms with like certain areas of my face and certain aspects of makeup and what I'm willing to compromise on, and just so many different things that I never would have learned or even thought about, quite frankly, had I not been doing this video and not wanted to push myself for you guys to kind of come up with this. So at the end of it, are some of these steps like a little extra? Yes. Do you have to do them all? Absolutely not. Do what you like. Do what makes you comfortable for your skin. For me, again, like I do brows because I have no brows, or I put stuff in the crease of my eyeshadow or of my eyes as shadow because I have really hooded eyes, and so I like my eyes to have some definition. You might not have those issues. You might have full brows and like a really nice eye shape, so you wouldn't have to do that. There's so many things about this that are so easy to tailor to what you like and do, and you might add stuff here and take stuff away there, and that's okay. This for me is just something I can share with you guys, a way that I have been feeling so comfortable in my skin. My skin has improved a lot, but as you could see, like I still have a lot of acne, discoloration, scarring. There's still a lot that goes on, and at the end of it, you just have to be able to be comfortable in the skin that you're in. And I just wanted to give this to you guys. It's not like a gift, it's just something that I can give you, that it's one more piece of me that I thought would be kind of cool, because I know a lot of you out there are like me and you have similar issues and you have similar this or that, and I just think it's cool when someone like has something with them that they carry that's like, it's me, these are my insecurities, and this is how I help deal with them every single day. And I think one of the biggest ways that I've been able to deal with them is, quite frankly, by showing them more and more. I've been able to go out without makeup on. I've been able to go out with just a powder foundation on. And just to give you a frame of reference, if you're new here or anything like that, I would normally put on like 3 foundations, like 3 mixed together liquid foundations. I would set my foundation with that MAC powder. That's the kind of coverage I like on my face. And just as a side note for you guys, if you were curious about roughly like how long this takes me, when you're doing it and you're just putting everything on your face and you're a little bit more haphazard with all your products, as I like to be with mine, I will say I get this entire face on and do all of these steps in about 25-ish minutes. And that's with me spending about 10 minutes on my brows, like 7 to 10 minutes. So this is something that you can do in a half hour or under. You can get all of this going, make yourself look really presentable really quickly, and still look really confident while doing it in a lot less time. So because everything that I show you guys is always so intense and so much and so to the nine, and it takes so long, I got to thinking like I wanted to show you guys something and perfect it down to where I know that I can do it. I can do it quick if I'm not talking to a camera and explaining stuff and whatnot, but it is something that's really doable. So if you are like really intimidated, or you feel like there's no place for you here, or you feel like you can't, you're nervous, whatever, put all of that aside, because it is an option. It is possible. You just have to figure out your face, take a minute to learn it, learn what you want to cover, what you don't care if you cover, what you'd want to fix or correct or whatever, and just learn that stuff about your face first and what makes you feel good and confident and fresh and clean and fabulous. And once you get all of that down, you guys, there is something out there for you. So for those of you that watch YouTube, just like I did when I first started, like watching it like 3 or 4 years ago, I started it and I was like, oh, it's cool to watch, but like I'd never do it. It's cool to watch, but I'd never do it. Don't think that way. There is a place for you. You can do it and get into it and feel happy about it. So I just wanted to share that with you, because I know that so many people are going to feel like I feel, and that was no good. Like, I'm so glad I'm not there anymore, because I felt so empowered when I started getting into makeup, and now to be on the full circle side of it, I feel even more empowered knowing I can do what I want with it, with my face, with my products. I can do what I want, create the illusion I want, and I can feel as good as I want to feel in my everyday life, wearing less, wearing more, wearing lashes, just my regular lashes, wearing nothing. And it's all up to you guys. This has been wearing so well throughout the day. It looks really beautiful and glowy, and it's all about embracing what you're comfortable embracing when you're ready. I've been putting makeup on my face now for a couple of years, and I've never been ready to do this before. I've never done this on camera before. And even when I did my really fast, like quick makeup go-to routine, it still had a liquid foundation, and there was still a lot of coverage. And just the more that I'm coming into my own, the more that I'm able to see that you don't always have to be so covered unless you want to be. If you want to be, that's fine too. But honestly, you guys, I'm at a place where I don't have to be, and I'm loving it, and I feel free and happy and just open and excited. So I really hope that you love this. I hope that you love the way my skin turned out, because my skin looks so beautiful. Like, everything reflects off of the camera or off the light so nicely, but it looks flawless. Like, it just looks so good and awake, and I look awake, and there's nothing better than that. Like, when you're sick, and so many of you can relate, when you spend so much of your life being sick and feeling shitty and just like, ugh, the feeling when you're done putting your makeup on of knowing like, you know what, I don't look sick anymore, or I look less sick, or I look happy. Even if you feel sick on the inside, looking better on the outside can have such a huge impact, and it has changed my whole world, and I love it so much, and I love you guys for even caring. So definitely leave me down below what you guys think. Did you like it? Is it something that you think, take from this, take little pieces, leave it all? I don't care. It's just from me to you. This is what I do. Makes me feel good, makes me feel happy, and it makes my cheeks look damn amazing. Like, look, I got like some Jaclyn Hill fucking cheek going on right here. Like, damn, yo, it's looking so good and so glowy. Ooh, yes. Like, you can see me from a mile away, and I'm loving it. Okay, anyways, you guys, I'm done. I'm gonna stop rambling on, because that's what I do. So leave all of those thoughts down below. Let me know everything. Give me all the details. And you guys, thank you so much. Thank you for letting me come here and give you a piece of me, and just always let me be my weird ass self. So with any further ado, you guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new videos Monday through Friday, and I love hanging out with you guys, and there's been a lot of you joining, which is awesome. So thank you so much. I think that's it, you guys. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. I did my full face. But it's less of a full face, looking so good, looking so fly, looking a little bit less, feeling healthy, feeling good, feeling mentally aware, feeling there, feeling here, feeling it, doing it, looking at myself, looking so damn good. Do you like my song? God, did I look so nice? Excuse me, sir, I'm sorry. Your perfection is too much for me. It's just too much. Ah. I have a pain in my actual nose canal, like right there, and it hurts. I'm not enjoying it. It's like, it's almost like I need to sneeze, but like not really. Oh, it's just a pain. Like the power of 1,000 sneezes inside one nose. One nostril, not nose. I only have one nose. Not comfortable. Oh my God, it's like making my eye water. Stop. So the next step... So the next step is kind of a weird one, but it has a purpose. So, well, while the Tatcha... God, this is going to be a long day. So the next step... So, okay. So the silk can't... Oh, my God. I'm looking so good, so good, so good. I'm looking so good, so good, so good. Oh, shit. Oh my God, I feel the need to stretch. I feel the need to stretch. I feel the need to stretch my spine, 'cause it's so tired. My spine needs to stretch. My spine needs to stretch. I need a Dorito, 'cause I love some chips. My face looks so good and fresh. Like, I mean, let's talk about the level of good and fresh we're talking about. I just laughed so hard I cried and fucked up my mascara. It doesn't matter. I don't care. But, like, look at how good and fresh my skin looks. Like, come on. What? Who are you? Who are this? Who is this? Paige, this is why you have to have bloopers. Oh my God. Like, I'm so impressed with myself. Hello. Hi. How are you doing? Oh my God. Wow. Wow, Paige, go do something with your life, because you need to not be near the camera. Shut the lights off. That's right. Shut the lights off. Shut the mic off. Be done. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out of the box. Out. Oh my God, I forgot to shut the camera off. Wow, that's embarrassing.